that this is not a new church. This is a new alliance or a new structure, but it's the old church, the historic church, that we've begun nothing new. We're not innovators. We're traditional biblical Christians. So I wince when someone say, you started a new church, a new denomination, because that's certainly not the case. We haven't gone anyplace, haven't changed anything. The same faith and practice that we've been declaring throughout my 35 years of ministry. The litigation is based upon our need to differentiate ourselves from things that have happened in the Episcopal Church by resolution canons of the General Convention, which has tried to take us someplace else or make us something else or change the foundations of the faith. So it's very important to say that we're the historic, traditional Anglican Church, and we've not started anything new except a new emphasis upon evangelism, outreach, new churches.
Thank you, Bishop.
Can I just also?
Yeah. Everyone wants to answer this question, and you did well.
Well, just from a Canadian perspective, yes, we do have a number of...
Microphone. I have to bring you to the mic.
Do I need to get the microphone? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Just from a Canadian perspective, we also have a number of congregations that are involved in litigation with the Anglican Church of Canada. And again, it's over the same issues in the sense of these are congregations that have not moved, have not changed the faith, are remaining steadfast in the faith, and are basically being evicted from their buildings by the Anglican Church of Canada. So that's what we've asked the courts to decide. Given the fact that the church has changed its faith and we're staying firmly where we've always been, we haven't changed, is it fair that in a situation of a division like this, that they should get all of the assets and one group is evicted? It doesn't really seem fair and just from our perspective, but there are a number of suits in Canada, in Ontario and BC at this point.
Thanks. I'll go with David.
Yes, this is a direct connection to Archbishop Duncan. Have you had a congratulatory phone call from the Archbishop of Canterbury? And if not, are you technically the 39th province of the Anglican Communion, or can you call yourself the 39th province if you don't hear from him?
The Archbishop of Canterbury and I are in regular contact, and I have not yet heard from him. I'm sure that I will. We are a province that is in the process of being recognized and partnered with around the world. Just yesterday, we heard from the church in the province of Uganda, the unanimous declaration there of recognition of the Anglican Church in North America here. The church in Uganda is the second largest of the provinces of the Anglican Communion. Back in March, the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, which is the largest by far province, recognized the church here. We had a declaration yesterday from Southeast Asia of full communion. We had a declaration from the province of Jerusalem in the Middle East. I have had communication from the province of the Indian Ocean, and it will just continue to flow out.
Thank you.
Julia.
Many of these this is probably for Martin, but I'm not, whoever feels like answering it. I'm curious about the combining of dioceses. In other words, many of them are very similar. Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, Southern Congo, basically pretty much evangelicals. Is there going to be some kind of reapportioning of people, maybe splitting up in geographical ways? Because many of them, their boundaries intersect. And so there'll be sort of bishops given to each of these and they'll be split?
Sure, happy to speak to that. You're absolutely right, Julia. I think we are going to work on finding better ways to be focused on mission and where there's incoherence to replace it with a more structured way. I think the first thing to do is to recognize we need to kind of get on with building relationships of trust, so we can work together more closely. But I do anticipate that we'll begin to move things into places that are more effective. But we are recognizing that today we no longer live being defined by geography. I mean, that's part of what's happened to us all as we've experienced the wonders of the internet, all those kinds of things. And so I think we are going to continue to have clusters and networks of folks that will be united by common vision and not necessarily by common geography. And so I think that we anticipate, therefore, a slightly more creative set of networks than simply the kind of rather tidy, but sometimes rather difficult kind of geographical definitions of who we are.
So
But we're
Keenan
working
won't be-
closely together.
Keenan won't be giving up its people to Uganda anytime soon. or-
Well, no, it's not about giving up. We're going to work together so we can be more deliberate in terms of how we structure ourselves. The focus is how can we be most effective to the mission. Yeah, and for some, it'll be networks that kind of tie folks together across the country. For others, they'll be more geographically focused. I anticipate, for example, we'll have areas, especially urban areas, where it'll make lots of sense for the congregations in that area to work closer together, because we'll be facing some, some similar challenges. But that's, we've got a foundation now. Now we start working out the details.
All right, looks like you're it.
Okay. Bishop Duncan, one of the first statements to come out of the gathering, the assembly, was the support for both the Anglican covenant and for our relationships with the communion partners in the Episcopal Church. I was wondering if you could sort of speak to your own personal commitment to those two things.
Absolutely. For those who are not altogether clear about the Anglican Communion Covenant, back in 2004, when the Windsor Report was produced, there was a call for a basis, a theological and historical basis, on which all Anglicans agree or might agree, and for province by province for the churches of the Anglican Communion, these 38, 39 provinces, to sign on to this covenant. Agreement would mean inclusion. Failure to agree would mean a different status in relationship to all the other churches. I've been committed to the Anglican Communion Covenant, signaled that to the world, and indeed our provincial council on Sunday night unanimously indicated, because we thought it was right for us simply to indicate that we're ready to adopt the Anglican Communion Covenant when it seems right to do so, to be the very first part of the communion when there is dispute about our place in the communion. We thought might not be the most helpful thing to do for the covenant. And again, what we are is we're communion players. We're partners with the mainstream of Anglicanism. So we're committed to it. We're ready to take action as it seems right. The Communion Partners, which is a group very much in the same place as all of us are, but still within the Episcopal Church or within the Anglican Church of Canada, and still trying to reform and bring back to sanity and to mainstream those churches. We've made a statement of being in solidarity with them relating to the covenant, because part of the debate and the dispute that's out there has to do with whether individual dioceses might be able to sign the covenant if their province, for instance, the Diocese of Western Louisiana, whether it could sign if the Episcopal Church in the United States said no. What we've said is we hope that the wisdom of the communion will be that of course you could sign if the Episcopal Church doesn't, as we expect it not to do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop.